All right, it's that time in the cycle for Australians to be reminded there's terrorists under your bed. They're going to get you.
12 months Isaac El-Matari had been under surveillance. El-Matari had been on the radar since the middle of last year after being deported from Lebanon, where he was jailed for planning to travel to Syria to join Islamic State.
Well, there's the Islamic flag, so that confirms that this is certainly terror for everyone to be, frightened of. And okay, so he got back from Lebanon, supposedly. So that's what they're telling us, that he was jailed over there. Got no confirmation. And for 12 months, this guy's been under surveillance. All right then.
Police say the plot was in its early stages, but
After 12 months, the plot, no act or anything, just a plot. Hasn't got to any action yet. It's in its early stages. All right, okay. Look, he's not the most productive terrorist they've got there. He's got a few inefficiencies. All right.
El-Matari allegedly identified potential targets in Sydney's CBD, police stations, embassies and consulates, courts, defence hubs and churches.
Okay, well, look, he's aiming high. And he's got a few things there listed, but in reality, it's only probably about a morning's work on Google and Google Maps to find all that stuff out.
He's also accused of trying to import guns and explosives to carry out the alleged attacks.
And he doesn't seem to get many results. He spent 12 months trying to import guns and explosives. They don't go into any details as to how far he got, where he was going to source them from. They just keep it a bit, brief. He was trying to, but they do have pictures of. There's a bomb. The people put a timer on it. 4:16. I bet you that means something. Maybe someone knows what that means. And also the guns.
And had bought a ticket out of the country.
Okay, all right. No, he's actually bought a plane ticket. He's accomplished something. He didn't get the guns in. He did make up a list, but he hasn't done anything as far as that list goes. But he did buy a plane ticket. Well, okay, that's maybe not the most productive 12 months work anyone's ever done. You probably wouldn't hire him, if time was of the essence in your business. But okay, he's got, but they don't say where the tickets to.
Well, also allowed to this man indicated he was willing to travel to Afghanistan to fight for Islamic State.
Straight after she said he had a plane ticket out of the country, this guy says that there were indications he was going to Afghanistan, but they never actually say the plane ticket was to Afghanistan, even though they try to give that impression because, they said that some pesky airline employee who might not trust the government might jump on and, their systems and find out that there was no plane ticket, which, makes his productivity even less in the 12 months they were watching him. Okay, so he's not the most efficient, productive terrorist, but what about the law enforcement agencies?
We've got 200 people who are involved in the investigation.
Yeah, that's so you've got 200 people involved in the investigation of 12 months surveillance, and all they've managed to find him do it. Admittedly, he's very inefficient himself, but why would you need 200 people to track? What did he try to do? He bought some guns unsuccessfully, draw up a list of targets, and, well, supposedly bought a plane ticket. But even that's in doubt. Yeah, I'm not sure there's any efficiencies anywhere in this one. No, actually, there was some efficiencies. There was some efficiency in the media because, amazingly, they were there at the same time as the police. I'll show you some footage. There's no reenactment or anything like that. They were there at the same time as these raids were taking place. Now, that's very, very efficient because you would assume that the police would not leak or give out information or give any warning to anyone and risk a 12-month, 200-person investigation. What if it was leaked to the perpetrators? Then, that the evidence would be gone. They might not have even been there. So the media are amazingly efficient. Or perhaps this whole thing is one big visual psyop.
This morning, counter-terror police made their move, arresting the 20-year-old at his Greenacre home.
So there was the camera all set up. The media must have got there before the cops to have the cameras set up ready to catch the cops as they're driving up. Oh, wow. That is just top. Whatever they're paying these journos, these investigative journos that knew this was going down, wow, they must be able to find anything about the government Unless, of course, they're, and this is very unlikely, I'll say that, they're working with the government.
The raids were carried out on 6 properties across Greenacre, Toongabbie, Chester Hill, Ingleburn, Green Valley and Canada Bay.
At the split screens, looks like not only did they know about this raid, they knew about all of the raids.
Forensics have spent all day at the homes, turning them upside down, going through computers, mobile phones, laptops, even ripping up floorboards.
And just watch that little scene again, because the camera's on them, they pan out. Just the exact, but these guys didn't time their walk for her to do her story or anything. This isn't all set up for any kind of purpose. This is just how good the journos are at their jobs.
3 taken into custody. A 23-year-old man walked from his Toongabbie property accused of being a member of Islamic State.
And, okay, look, there wasn't just one, there was 3. There was 200 people were monitoring 3 people. Oh, well, perhaps they're not that inefficient, but this guy, he was only done for being, not actually trying to import guns or anything. He's just a member of Islamic State. They're hiding his face.
And a 30-year-old on fraud charges.
And the last guy, he's only mentioned in passing because he's only up for fraud charges. But that one guy, he tried to import guns and had a list. And there was something about a plane ticket. That's what you get for 200 officers and a year's work.
Frightening, and I think everybody would feel the same way to suddenly see police coming from all directions.
And, of course, they always have at least one witness to tell us all, reading the script to tell us all that we should be frightened.
The Home Affairs Minister acted swiftly, announcing he'll table new laws in Parliament on Thursday.
Any lack of productivity in the investigation team, this has well and truly been made up in the lawmaking team. Wow, in 2 days. Hasn't even gone to court, just based on some allegations. They've got the complete law already written. Oh, it's almost like they had foreknowledge, but no, they just found out about it. It's all right, we need laws.
Stopping people suspected of having terror links returning to Australia for 2 years.
Oh, there's bombs going off, there's guys running around with machine guns. Oh, please, bring in those laws. We don't want that happening here. But, of course, the way the law is going to be written, it may even cover that. But it will. I think this law is more about restricting.
This threat has not diminished, it's not going away, and it remains current, particularly when we've got Australians overseas in a theatre of war, being trained by ISIL or being inspired otherwise online.
Well, yeah, that's all well and good, but no one's actually done that. In fact, your chief suspect, he was only in the early stages. It might have been like the rate he was going, it's going to be decades. We had a plane ticket, but they didn't say that was out of the country. It might have been in New Zealand or Hawaii for a holiday.
The encryption laws that you pushed to pass last year, have they played a factor in this?
We now know that close to 100% of people involved in organised crime and pedophile rings, in terrorism activity, are all using encrypted apps and encrypted phones. We've got 200 people who are involved in the investigation.
So totally unscripted, Tom Steinfort decides to ask him about these encryption laws because people still aren't happy about them. But look, this proves that they're working. So, we're only after the bad guys, the pedos, the terrorists, all those sort of guys. We're not going to use them to, say, spy on Australians who might have anti-government sentiments, so that we could, say maybe demonetise them, make them lose their jobs, all that sort of stuff. No. The encryption laws won't be used to spy on Australians like that, nor will it be used by, people to spy on their finances, and if they're going well, maybe tap their phones, see how their business is going, maybe copy them, steal their secrets. No, okay?
Is there a chance here that it might have taken a little too long for warrants to be issued?
Look, Tom, I think it's always hard, and none of us know the detail. But
look, obviously the time frame was up to how slow the terrorist was moving. It's more, my problem is they had 200 people working on it because, he didn't achieve much, just virtually nothing. So you probably got to peg that back to about one guy, maybe 2, just checking in on him every now and then as opposed to this big expense. But he does say that, we know nothing about this. Well, he knows nothing about it because he says, it's him. How's he making any laws on something he knows nothing about?